Welcome back to the channel. There's two basic ways of investing your money. The first way is market timing. You have to time the right stock at the right time in the right industry before the big trend takes off. There's a lot of things that you have to get right. The second way is kind of this long and slow, boring way of investing, and that's consistently investing into an index fund or a mutual fund, no matter what the heck's going on. When I heard about this kind of blew my mind. Check this out. So 3 people invested $200 every month over the course of their working career. I'll put a link down below so you guys can kind of read it more in depth. The first person had terrible timing. We'll call her terrible timing Tiffany. At the top of every market, right before the crash, that's when she would invest her money that she had saved up, $200 a month, and she kept that money in there. Then she would be saving up her money while the market was correcting and going back up. And at the very top, before the next crash, she would also invest again. At the end of those 40 years of working, her total she had in her account was $773,000. She had invested a total of $99,000. The second person is Brittany, and she has this amazing ability to pick the bottom of the market every single time. So she saves up her money, and at the bottom of the market, that's when she invests her money. She saved up $200 every month, and then she saves up again till the next time the market crashes, and she buys in again. At the end of her working career, she has $1.2 million. Here's the crazy thing. There's a boring way to do it. Let's call her Slow and Steady Sarah. She's boring. She doesn't want to time the market. She doesn't want to figure out the financial news. All she did was every single month, she put in those $200 into an index fund, no matter what the market was doing. Guess what her account was at the end of her working career? She was at $1.6 million. To me, this is surprising. The turtle wins the race, but let's try and talk about why. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Artem Chuprin. I love talking about financial independence and growth. If those kind of things interest you, subscribe down below, hit that thumbs up button. The YouTube algorithm really appreciates it. And I will say, hey, thank you very much for highlighting my video. So let's jump into it. So the result of that study, the link is down below, is very surprising to me. So there's 3 main reasons I'm gonna talk about today about why dollar cost averaging is so effective. Dollar cost averaging is you buying into a stock or an index fund a same amount no matter what's going on in the market. In that story, Slow and Steady Sarah invested $200 every single month into the stock market. That's called dollar cost averaging. Why is it so effective? The first problem that we have as people is we're very emotional people. Now, nobody's gonna say that they're not rational. All of us are very rational. But what happens when the market is either at new highs or it's at new lows, we lose touch with our emotional side. If I love a caramel macchiato and I'm gonna go to my favorite coffee shop right down the street and I'm gonna order myself a caramel macchiato and they say, hey, it's 50% off today. Do you want a second one? I might say, sure, give me 2 of them. That would be an awesome thing. If you go to a grocery store and the snack that you love to eat is at 50% off, you might buy up a whole bunch of it. That way you have some extra at home for the future. But when it comes to the stock market, we have a different attitude towards stocks when they fall in price. Instead of getting excited or instead of trying to buy more as stock prices fall, we do the opposite. Most people tend to be very cautious. They want to wait to see if it's going to go farther down. They want to make sure that there's not some other reason that the market's not behaving correctly. Or if the market is going to new highs, it's going higher and higher and higher every day. Everybody's excited about it. You see it in the news and people are talking about it. The guy down the street, on the bus, in the car. You get the point. When that's happening, everybody gets too excited and starts piling in. They call that FOMO, or fear of missing out. We're not as rational as we would like to think. So, what is the benefit of dollar cost averaging? It takes the emotions out of your trading. The emotional component to an average investor is their worst enemy. It's not a market crash. It's not a correction. Your emotions of acting illogical or irrational during the worst possible times. Like, example, a market crash or a market top. My emotions might be keeping me out of the market as it's moving up to new highs. I might be thinking, hey, there's gonna be a crash. I'm gonna keep waiting for a crash. Peter Lynch, a very famous fund manager, said, more money has been lost waiting for corrections than in the actual corrections themselves. What's the second benefit of dollar cost averaging? Your money is always working. It doesn't take a sick day. It doesn't take time off. If your money's constantly invested, that's what allows it to work the best for you. How important is it for your money to actually work for you? Here's an example. If you invested $10,000 on January 3rd, year 2000, right before the big tech crash and the year 2008 crash, and you stayed invested the whole time without taking your money out, your money would be about $32,000, or about 6% return every year. But what happens if you miss out on just 10 of the best days in the market? You may think it's not that big a deal, but the total, instead of having $32,000 in your account, you would have roughly $16,000. So half of your money is what you would have if you just miss out on 10 days in the last 20 years of trading. What happens if you missed out on 20 of the best days? Your account would only be at $10,100. The third reason why dollar cost averaging is so awesome for the average investor is it's very doable. The average person may have a harder time following a trading strategy. I may have a difficult time figuring out what is a good buy signal, what's a good sell signal. And even if I can figure that stuff out, the average person who tries to trade will actually not beat the market itself. But with dollar cost averaging, all you have to do is have an account that's a trading account or your retirement account, or set up a Roth IRA. If you guys have any questions about that, I'll put a link up here so you can watch those videos. But you just open an account, and no matter what, you just invest a set amount of money into that account. And you automate it. If you can make this investment automatic, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to time the market. You don't have to worry about financial views. And most likely, you will do much better than the average investor. The amazing thing about dollar cost averaging is when the market is at new highs, you will end up buying a little bit less shares. And when the market's at new lows, you will automatically end up buying more shares because the price is lower without realizing any of that. So you automatically get a better deal for your money. I wanted to show you guys a really cool website that you can use yourself to figure out how much money you would make if you dollar cost average into a certain stock or an index fund. It's pretty cool, so check it out. I'm just gonna open this up and follow along. The website is Buy Upside. Now, this calculator can go back to 1995. So let's put an example in here for you guys. So S&P 500 or SPY. I'm gonna start with $500 in the account, and my recurrent investment amount is gonna be $250 every single month. So if I invest into the S&P 500, this is how much I would have right now, $271,000 right here. So I like investing in the NASDAQ a little bit more. So that's QQQ, for example. So my result would be $500,000. So $508,346,000. This is what it looks like as you keep putting money in. Here, this tiny little blip on the chart, that's the crazy 2008 crash. It doesn't really matter. You keep buying more, and now we're way up here at $500,000. And that is only $66,000 invested total. So you can use this calculator to kind of find out different time periods and see if you would lose money dollar cost averaging. For example, if you invested at the worst possible time, so let's say December 1999, and you only invested for 5 years, let's see what happened to your money. You invested throughout the crash of the 2000 tech bubble. You end up still having $16,300 while investing a total of $15,000. So the key here is invest your money. Do it consistently. Let's look what happens in 2008. So we invest in 2007, December. We get out 5 years later in 2012. So we had invested a total of $15,000. And that money invested through the 2008 crash would be at $22,000. To me, this is amazing. No matter what you do with your investment, if you can be consistent, if you can continually put money into an account like a Roth IRA or a normal brokerage account, you will make money. And over any 5-year period, there hasn't been a single time where you would lose money as long as you dollar cost average. Even if the market crashes, you will actually end up buying some crazy deals as it falls down through the floor. So what's the market gonna do tomorrow, next year? Nobody knows. But dollar cost average your way to wealth. I wanted to show you guys my Roth IRA. Been a pretty amazing growth for me. So 116,000. And here's the snapshot over the last 2 years. So it started off at about $20,000 2 years ago. Went up right here to a peak of about 24,000. COVID crash happened and then it started taking off. Today, the account is back up to 116,000. I hope you learned something today. If you found some benefit in this video, give it a thumbs up, pass it on to a friend. Thank you for spending your time here with me. I appreciate you guys. Wish you all the best. Love you. Take care. Artie out.